Yeah, so this has the potential of. When I heard this news, I mean, I was still thinking about HBO in itself. This news would have not happened had HBO gone dead.
Yeah, because they're his own like pretty much.
In fact, you know what's interesting? I was actually reading this, for instance, that HBO had the option to match it,
and they decided not to.
and they actually made an offer to Canelo to have a pay-per-view fight in December.
Yeah.
And HBO elected. So right here it says, HBO had the right of the first negotiation and the last look provision for Albert's fight with England's Fielding, and the network made an offer for an HBO pay-per-view event, but it elected not to match the one made by Danza. So I mean that leaves Triple G now, right? Choosing like what should he choose, right?
Yeah.
Because
And
go
it's interesting because just today I just ran into a YouTube clip of Eddie Hearn, right? They were asking him about what he thought about the deal, and he just said he was happy about it, but he also mentioned that he mentioned Mikey Garcia,
Yeah.
and he was like, you know, all these guys who are not sure what network they should fight for,
They should tell you where to
like
go.
now, they should say like, all right, I quote, let's see, they should just take off their shirt, leave their swimming trunks on, and just dive straight into the zone pool. That's what he said.
and if you look
Right?
at
And that's interesting because Canelo is like the face of boxing right now. So if you're like a younger guy and you're not sure about what network to fight on, you know, probably like ESPN would be on the top of your list, Showtime, because those are established networks, right? The
Right.
zone is pretty new. But with these news right here, man,
Yeah.
that's like the best advertising you could get for the zone.
Yeah, that changes everything because just having Canelo, like, how many people are gonna just subscribe and just to see Canelo? You know, you're used to getting these pay-per-views for 85, 75, whatever the amount, and if someone offers you to see Canelo for $9.99 monthly subscription, you're gonna be like taking it.
yeah,
And so that's just gonna put like more money into the zone. Their budget. They're gonna be able to offer their fighters more money, and that's security right there.
and then everybody gave a hard time on Eddie Hearn about this company called The Zone, and I've been like talking about The Zone for a while.
Remember the first time we saw the zone? It was like a Tyson Fury like little comeback fight, or he was getting back into it.
Yeah,
And we're like, what is this? The zone? And you sent us a link. We're like, okay, let's check it out, and it was pretty good.
yeah, and the thing is, like, when Anthony Joshua fight Pobetkin, I downloaded the app, really impressed.
Yeah.
And I was like talking about it, making fun of it, just in a light way, because it's impressive. Like that type of app showing the live status of the feed, it was streaming really good.
Yeah.
I had no glitches or anything like that. So it has a lot of potential. And keep in mind, I just said Anthony Joshua. So before even this signing, they already had Anthony Joshua,
Yeah,
one of the
he had one
best
superstar.
heavyweights and one of the well-known boxers, like in general. Like if you were to have an EA Sports Fight Night cover, you know how back then FIFA used to have like 3 athletes? For sure you put Anthony Joshua, Canelo, and probably Lomachenko or Triple G
Yeah.
on the side,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Those two are arguably like the only pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it's interesting
Stars out there.
because before, I hate, like, I know you guys rate like Errol Spence and Crawford like so highly, right? But it was interesting because even before this deal, I was thinking like the biggest names in boxing are Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Triple G, and Lomachenko, and everybody else is just kind of like not really there.
Like from a marketable standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, because nobody else is putting up numbers like that. But with this, I find it disrespectful now. People put Crawford and Errol Spence in the same, like even in the same sentence as Canelo. And I know you guys don't like Canelo, and you guys are really big on those two names that I said. But even Crawford's last fight, who did he fight?
Benavides.
Who has Benavides ever fought before?
Yeah, not a lot of people.
And you, Christian, last week when I asked you if you gave Canelo credit for moving up in weight, what'd you say?
No.
Nope. Why?
Because there's a boxer at 168, Gilberto Ramirez.
So you're not happy that he was fighting a no name, basically, right?
He's more established,
Yeah.
and that would have probably sold
So who did Crawford fight?
regarding Benavidez.
Mm.
Somebody.
It's a no name, right?
He's at the welterweight.
You know, it was interesting
He's-
because
He's at the welterweight.
Yeah.
He can't make. First of all, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm
I
not
wasn't
sure.
finished.
Well, you brought this in yourself, dude. So this past week,
I know what you're gonna say. It's not his fault. He can't fight these guys.
but
But go ahead.
but I'm not talking about
Go ahead.
Terrence Crawford. So this past week, Bob Arum has been open. In fact, I'm one of you guys sent an article talking about Bob Arum talking about whether or not Al Heyman is a ghost.
That was me.
Like that to me says a lot. That's like some urban legend. Like that's legendary.
To me, that like they just like communicate or work out deals through
Yeah.
phones, and sometimes it's like he's only seen him once every 4 years. You're like,
right.
you guys are the people that should at least be seeing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that because it sounds like Bob Arum is under the ropes right now. He's
Mhm.
run out of opponents. And I mentioned to you last week that Al Heyman has all the welterweights besides
yeah.
Terrence Crawford. He has Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Floyd
Mhm.
Mayweather, Errol
Yeah.
Spence.
Now with Pacquiao, yeah, he's got all of them.
He has him cornered right now.
Mhm.
Under the ropes, Bob Arum. And he knows, like I mentioned to you, in like the last quote when I mentioned regarding Al Heyman about Cameron Duncan.
Mhm.
Do your job in the boxing ring because HBO is going to be there to last because we don't know what's going to happen with Al Heyman.
Mhm.
So that's why Bob Arum had no other option, right? But keep in mind, like, yes, Canelo went up to 168, but who knows? Maybe that was part of the deal why he ended up going with Danza.
Oh yeah, because I mean he's fighting a British fighter.
And Eddie Hearn is with
Mhm.
Rocky Field, and he's part of
Yeah.
his stable.
I mean,
So what about Crawford?
Regarding what?
Why is he fighting no name still and getting so much credit for it?
Nobody's giving.
I don't think-
I have
I don't think
not.
he's getting too much credit for
Yeah.
Benavidez.
I'm giving credit to Terrence Crawford for what he did at 140.
Mm-hmm. And his options are
Where do you
limited
rate
at
him
147.
pound for pound? Did you
No.
have him ahead of Canelo?
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why.
you have to
Because
understand.
that shit makes no sense at all whatsoever.
I think Chris is
I can name so many Hall of Famers that Canelo has fought.
Dude,
I can't even name 5 Terrence Crawford opponents right now. I can't even name 5.
I'm talking about undisputed at 140, claiming your stuff at 135, then at 140. And can you give me some time at 147? Because the guy hasn't even been at 147.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
don't put him at top welterweights because he's not there yet.
I think he's saying pound for pound, not welterweight.
Exactly. I'm not saying
He's not a welterweight.
he just got into welterweight right now. So you have to like give him a chance, let him, you know.
So why is he ahead of Canelo? I don't understand.
he
Based on what he did at 140. I think
basically
that's what
he did it
he's
at 140?
Who did he fight at 140?
saying. He fought all the titleists.
Yeah, he fought whoever
Who?
was there.
Who?
Postol,
Who else?
That was a good one.
Gamboa at 135.
Oh my.
Mhm.
It's just you get it's like and I don't think you really understand this, dude. Being undisputed is hard.
Yeah.
Like it's hard in general.
Especially with all these like
Yeah,
entities, not letting.
Who do you
like,
fight though to become undisputed?
whoever was there, and it wasn't his
You
fault.
can't
That,
even name them.
well, Danny Garcia was there. Mikey Garcia was there.
Mhm.
And even Bob Arum wanted Mikey Garcia to be at 140.
Mhm. He's good. Though.
And he was, and Mikey Garcia was fighting to get out of that contract. And then Mikey Garcia was saying, "Oh, you know what? I could get out of this contract. You sign me a one fight deal against Terrence Crawford, and that's it. We could call it off and shake it off. I could just go to my own other promoter." So there was fighters, but fighters weren't down to fight Terrence Crawford at that time.
Mhm.
So it's like you gotta understand the boxing politics when it comes to just like that's the thing about boxing. You can't talk about boxing just like by watching like the Lakers or watching the Dodgers, just like watching it because there is no politics on the side in boxing. Like there's so many strings attached. That's why all these boxing
Yeah, in
lists,
other sports you gotta face everybody. Right?
yeah,
In
there's
boxing
because
you
there's
kind of
rules
get a choice
and
yeah,
regulations.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much
Makes
politics
it difficult.
behind it. It's just like hard.
But like, I brought that up because I saw a random comment on Facebook. The guy said, "Keep the same energy toward Bud when he fights the same type of fighters that Canelo is about to fight next."
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So
Bud
yeah,
Crawford's been fighting nobodies, and you're still ranking him over Canelo? I don't understand.
I'm once again. I
I,
have to repeat myself.
that just makes no sense. And that's why I'm
Okay.
glad this deal happened. Because
Okay.
the 365 million, it puts everything in perspective, dude.
Well, you gotta
Nobody in boxing is gonna make that type of money.
First of all, you gotta
Because
understand.
this guy's in another planet, dude.
Yeah, you gotta understand.
These other guys are mini-me's compared to him.
Well, of course, and it always helps when Canelo has a country behind his back.
Mhm.
Same thing. It always helps when Miguel Cotto has a country behind his back. Even
Mhm.
Juan Manuel Marquez, he has a country behind his back, right?
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather didn't have that because who has America behind their back? The Lakers, the Yankees,
Yeah.
all these other sports teams.
Yeah.
Nobody wants and nobody cares about boxing
Mayweather's
in
still
general.
making money though.
He's still
So-
making money, but I'm saying how Floyd Mayweather markets himself,
He had the
it
hate
hurts his
factor.
reputation. You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
But
All the-
Terrence Crawford fights every fight in Omaha.
that's his hometown.
Come on,
Mhm.
man.
That's his hometown. Like
Come on, man.
he barely branched out in his first fight at welterweight in Las Vegas, and that was a good idea because that was in Las Vegas, and he won the belt right there.
Yeah, the thing is that at 140, there's always boxing politics that keeps you from fighting, fighters because of, the different entities, and he's really seeing that problem at 147, where Showtime, Alhaim, they have all the welterweights. I'm sure if he was with them, he'd be fighting them. I'm
Right.
pretty sure, he would, but it's because he's with Top Rank that he can't.
But he hasn't.
Hey, but the
You
thing,
keep saying what ifs. Like,
no. But
these are all assumptions. He hasn't fought anybody.
you have to understand it's coming already. That's the thing.
All right, then don't rate him so high yet.
I'm already rating him that high.
My
Just like when I
goodness,
see a
man.
boxer like has potential,
That
like
shit makes no sense.
he's.
Just like Errol Spence too. He's fought nobody.
Let me ask you this question: do you have any respect for Terrence Crawford to be undisputed championship at 140?
Yeah. But I don't even know who he beat to earn those titles.
Adrian Broner was there. Mikey Garcia was
Canelo's
there.
win over
Danny Garcia was there. There was names in there. Postola
He
was
never
there.
fought any of them though.
Because what options?
So
know-
why do you keep saying all these names if he didn't fight anybody?
Because he beat everybody, dude.
He didn't beat those guys. He didn't beat Danny Garcia.
He beat everybody that was there at
That
the
was
time.
available. Yeah.
That was
Canelo's
available.
win against Triple G is worth more than all those titles. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like argue
Yeah,
that.
now, yeah.
So why are you still rating him over Canelo? That makes no sense. Terrence Crawford has never fought a guy of Mayweather's caliber, Cotto's caliber, Lara's caliber, Austin caliber. Why is he even? Why is he even near Canelo? I don't understand.
He's
You,
there?
you can't even put him on the same sentence, dude.
He's there.
And this deal puts everything into perspective, dude.
yeah, it always helps.
That just puts
when-
Canelo on a planet of his own, dude.
Look.
Don't even put him on any pound for pound list anymore, dude. He's on the list of his own.
Errol Spence is not gonna get a deal like this.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford is not gonna get a deal like this.
Mhm.
Because they're never gonna.
We talked about the
Fight
fight
Any
orders that
of the
make them-
Charlos are not gonna get a deal like this.
Because they're never gonna beat the names that Canelo beat.
Adrian
That's
Broner
why.
is not gonna get a deal like this.
That's all I'm saying.
You want me to tell you why?
Because
Because
they're not that good.
because they're all black. They don't have a country.
Mayweather's black.
I know, but
That shit don't matter.
you gotta.
So the only thing I can give
you have hold on.
Mayweather
you have
has
to
beat-
understand. Yeah,
Is Chocolatito a big name?
I'm saying Mayweather.
He has a country behind him. That shit does not matter.
Mayweather, he put this on himself to be
Mhm.
at this stage for all the things that he did
Mhm.
regarding the domestic violence, being in prison for other stuff,
Mhm.
all the chaos that he brought outside the ring. Like I told you, what happens inside the ring for me, it's nothing. The
Yeah.
hard work comes outside the ring.
Mhm.
Promoting yourself as an African American athlete and boxing in
Yeah.
general is hard to do.
Yeah.
Just as Deontay Wilder. He's
Mhm.
one of the top heavyweights right now.
Yeah, but he hasn't beaten anybody either.
Or Ortiz.
See, to me, that's how you make your name in boxing. You got to beat somebody.
And you know how you try
All
to,
these guys you named, they haven't beat anybody.
in Deontay Wilder was talking about you have to pressure Anthony Joshua to fight me.
Mhm.
Like it's up to the fans if they want the fight to happen. The peer pressure when it comes to colliding heads in the boxing ring comes down to the fans when they get tired,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. To me, what makes Mayweather, he beat everybody, but he also uses that hate factor, like where people pay to see him lose. It's
Right.
like an anti-country type,
Yeah.
where they just
And he
want to
beat
see him lose.
names. He
And
beat
he beat names.
Terrence
So-
Crawford has no names under his belt.
Yeah. Back to the.